Waste incineration. Chronic poisoning of the people. Part 13. Biological mechanical treatment in a three-phase process. Besides scrap plastics and rubber products, the BKB catalog contains waste of biological origin which however is highly contaminated with technically products, colors, coatings, impregnation salts of heavy metal or even infectious pathogenous waste from hospitals. We can entirely entrust such contaminated bio-waste to be cleaning work of microorganisms. They have practiced this about 3 billion years longer than we do. They always have been successful too. We often have had to rely on microbes in the hope of having an industrial wasteland recultivated or the ocean revitalized after a tanker accident. We must however control them with microbiological expertise so that they can deliver these results quickly enough. The Eikmanns criticize the existing biological mechanical treatment plants, which they call mechanic biological treatment plants, in the article quoted earlier. The exact words: in Germany, there are about 48 mechanical biological treatment plants in operation today, with about 5.1 million tons treatment capacity. The realized engineering concepts are very different and as a whole not easy to compare. Despite partly very costly exhaust air cleaning systems, ever since these plants were put into service, offensive odors in the neighborhood of many mechanical biological treatment plants have been a cause of considerable nuisance to the pollution, leading to massive protests of the residents. Biogas, landfill gas, the air from the treatment and percolation sheets, the biostabilized output called geostabilat, but also the dumping area can be classified as relevant emission source for the odors. Mainly composting activities, partly in the decay sheets, and disposal and transfer process of material from the landfill area came into question for the release of bioaerosols. And they continue: a health risk to the population in sense of a higher frequency of symptoms, syndromes and disease can very probably be ruled out for the residual areas in the vicinity of mechanical biological plants. The nuisance caused by the odors occurring in the vicinity of the mechanical biological treatment plants are described as extremely unpleasant by the population, and according to hedonic criteria. According to the GAIRL or odor emission guidelines assessment criteria, they constitute per se a risk to health and are basically to be avoided. An accompanying illustration shows a girl who obviously is about to become nauseous. The negative assessment of the mechanical biological treatment plants seems to be as tendentious as the one cites praise on waste incineration plants in the same article. Of course, MBT's or BMT's plants shouldn't stink, but that doesn't have to be. If residents complain about this at existing MBT plants, these plants are neither expertly designed nor currently dimensioned. Perhaps these plants are designed for a catchment area which is too large, and so they are not able to properly process the accumulation waste. Perhaps they are more similar to large compost piles than to technical plants. As we conceive it, the biological mechanical treatment plant, too, follows a technical controlled concept and has nothing more to do with the large compost stockpiles. The contaminated bio-waste are immediately channeled into a closed system consisting of 3 rotary tube reactors. In the rotary tubes, the waste is constantly in motion. The 3-phase treatment thus can be finished in 12 to 14 days. The bulk of what comes out is equivalent to RIP compost which smells like forest humus. Each BMT unit consists of 3 rotary tubes reactors, connected in series, which are alternately operated in aerobic mode, then in anaerobic mode, then again in an intensive aerobic mode. Such a line, or several lines in parallel, could be established on one side. In any case, a biofilter on each reactor ensures that the reactor's gaseous emissions are made reliable odor-free. Slaughterhouses have proved that this is possible. They keep their sheets odor-free using biofilters and store the animal excrements odor-free with the help of biofilters so that no nuisance is created in the neighborhood. Incidentally, residents in the near vicinity of waste incineration plants also occasionally report pungent odors. Much more important is that we remember the fundamental differences between the material transformation in waste incineration plants, also for hazard waste, and the one hand the biologic mechanical treatment plants on the other. In the waste incineration plant, substances are heated to high temperatures, consuming very large amount of atmospheric oxygen. The heating effect degases them. It tears most molecules into fragments of molecules radicals. The radicals search for reaction partners in a chaotic way to become completed again. Innumerable problematic substances and toxins emerge through the chaotically proceeding the novo synthesis during the cooling phase, and they poison all residues from the waste incineration plants. In the slack they are in the gas-filled pores. Otherwise, they adhere to the toxically laden dust and soot particles. Waste which had been use-friendly a short time ago emerges poisoned from the waste incineration plant. Nothing less leaves the waste incineration plant is still inert. The water in the waste is vaporized in the waste incineration plant. Water vapor increases the greenhouse effect. The heat of the conflagration is reached so fast that only a minimum can be removed via heat recovery steam generator and used as energy. The greater energy amount goes into the atmosphere as damaging waste heat. In the biological mechanical treatment plant, in contrast, the atmospheric oxygen and the water in the waste mainly serves the medium of life to the substance microbial conversion. In the first stage, aerobic decay, just enough heat is produced as necessary for hygienization, about 70 degrees Celsius. This temperature kills all vegetative, directly infectious human pathogens. This is enough for hygienization. The slowly revolving rotary tube reactors, in which resistors, so-called baffles, permanently circulate the waste, expose the microorganism in the reactor to always new nutrients. This permits completing aerobic decay, including hygienization of the waste within 2 days. Anaerobic fermentation then follows a second stage. Here special emphasis is placed on the detoxification as well as the dehalogenation and mobilization of heavy metals. Lower reaction temperatures of about 30 degrees Celsius must prevail in the reactor to make the enzyme system working, which enables the anaerobic bacteria to dehalogenate and detoxify. This can be controlled in the reactor. At the end of anaerobic fermentation, the part of the reactor contents with its enriched with heavy metal salts will be ruled in a shunt through an innovation biosorption reactor. There the heavy metals will be collected in an easily smeltable concentration. However, now, since the nuclear reactor of Chernobyl at the latest, that mushrooms and certain bacteria are able to accumulate heavy metals. For years afterwards, actually until today, it was forbidden to gather forest mushrooms in the fallout zones. This salt elimination is missing in the current mechanical biological treatment plants. This is much bigger hygienic disadvantage than perhaps odor problems. A third stage after salt elimination and anaerobic detoxification, once again an intensive decay phase follows. It is designed to decompose also lignin and humic substances with activated oxygen, so that enclosed toxins will be made harmless by oxidation. After that, the biggest part of the biological waste meets the requirements of the RIP compost to the best RAL quality category. It has really been made inert, and the waste as a whole is sufficiently reduced in the volume. Only a small residues of lignin and leather have to be decomposed by fungi cultures. These cultures needed to be left alone to do their work. This can be made possible in encapsulated long-time decay devices. Biofilters prevent any odor emissions. The commercial exploitation of larger quantities of compost should not be a problem. For the Mediterranean area, but also for Germany, heavy downpours and longer dry periods are predicted to cause considerable problems for our agriculture. To compensate these anomalous conditions for farming as well as possible, much compost will be needed as soil conditioner and as outstanding rainwater reservoir. Conclusion. In the sense of a closed-loop economy, the combination of cryogenic plastic recycling and biological mechanical treatment is a technique beneficial to humanity. This continuation of incineration technology preserves a technique harmful to humanity. We as free citizens have to decide ourselves how our future should be. The World Incineration Plant lobby is very powerful, but the most powerful lobby, it is said, is the population in a democracy with freely elected representatives. We must arouse people when it appears necessary. The factual information in this booklet is reason enough. As an active citizen movement, we can do no more than give our fellow citizens this to take with them on their way. We hope to the necessary understanding of the seriousness of current situation. There's no more time to hesitate or dither. Economy and ecology must come together to new policy. Now, Ernst Ulrich von Weizsäcker calls earthly policy. We call it our longing for a future. More waste incineration blocks the way to the future, as any alert mind can see. Alert minds cannot resign themselves to suppress reason for long. Awareness will prevail if a sufficiently large number of people have it. Evolution processes. We ourselves are evolution. Now, Mr. Rosin isn't active anymore. He has given us the advice how a good technique could be. His team also is old. It's going in pension. But the knowledge of it's a combination of techniques still used in the world, of grinding technique, of cooling technique, of sorting technique. All is there. It's only a question of combination. And everywhere in the world, scientific people can take this information, begin their work and realize this technique. The first region, the first state which will have this, has the advantage to sell it on the whole world, to bring the whole world ecological environmental good things. And so, this video may not be the best English. It may be a little bit funny to hear my voice here in this special speech. But I hope also the information will reach your ears, your mind, and you will begin to work on this. To bring the world solutions for a good future, for a good life for the children, for a reduce of illnesses, for a more healthy world, for a more wealthy world for all people, with a wealth that does not destroy the environment, with a wealth which gives all future. Our way of living destroys the world and is future for nothing, for no one. So this technique is a help to make a future for all. And I apply to all scientific people, look for this better future.